It's Sunday, February 3rd, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm in our bedroom. Look at the view. You can see the mountains on the other side of the lake. If I was to stand up right at the window, you would be able to see the lake, actually. Not that we ever swim in it. But, anyway, so I was, excuse me, looking over my videos last night, and I realized I hadn't reported in since, I don't know if we're home, but anyways, it's been forever. We were in Metro, and we never ever did do another video. I'm just going to recap how our fly day went. We were an hour late with our flight. Linda Pella was supposed to land 10 minutes after us. Her flight wasn't delayed. She came in from Florida. I'll try to keep this brief. So we're looking for Bob and Ernie, my sister. When the doors parted through immigration, the doors part, and there's this big path, and there's Mexicans all around this path. I always say the waters have parted, and like no one's ever been waiting for us. We've always taken a cab from Guadalajara Airport to Ajijic. Well, this year Ernie and Bob are picking us up because they were picking up Linda Pello. Or Bob was. And Bob didn't know Linda Pello. But we do. Regardless of all that. So we're looking all over. Couldn't see them. Bob went to the right. He stopped with our luggage in one spot looking for them. We had our two big check-ins, our carry-ons. We had a long fly day. And then he said, okay, let's look in the restaurant. So we started to walk with our luggage, and I recognized Terry. Terry, I don't know his last name. I'm sure I've been told it. Terry's been coming to Ajijic this is Lynn Matthews' friend, Terry. And I thought, oh, wow, I know somebody here. Like how cool is that? And and he popped up and came to me, which really surprised me because, we're friends, of course, but regardless. So I give him a hug, and he says, Linda, I have bad news. Ernie had a stroke this morning. And of course, I thought it was really bad news. He was so scared. I said, was she going to be okay? And he said, we don't know. Then I saw Linda Pello, so I gave her a hug, and of course I started crying because I thought, and he said, this is around 6 o'clock at night. He said, we haven't heard from Bob at all this morning. Then I recognized Mike, Terry's friend Mike, Ernie's friend Mike. Mike is part of the walking group also. I mean, I've known him for a few years, not as well as Terry. My joke with Terry always was, he talked Lynn Matthews into coming to Ajijic, Mexico for 4 months. And I thought, how can you tell someone to come to this? This is really an adjustment country. This is like a little fishing village. It's really rustic. It's truly Mexican. And I thought, are you nuts? I know you love Mexico, like we all do. I would never tell someone to come for 4 months. What if you don't like it? You're stuck here. And she came in the year that we had our really funny weather, which was really cold. She came in on a day that it rained, we'd never have rain in Mexico. And she came, and we had such cold weather that season. So needless to say, it was not the Ajijic that we've always known and what brings us back. But we all became good friends. Anyway, so I always tease Terry. Oh, Terry, you can convince anyone, anything. Anyways, I'll keep this I'm really rambling. So so they gathered our luggage. And I said, aren't we going to the hospital? And he said, I don't know what hospital she's in. I've left messages on Ernie's phone number, and Bob has not called me. And they called the Posada, and no one had heard anything. And I said, yeah, but shouldn't we find out what hospital she's in? And Linda Pello, she just touched my arm, and she said, Linda, don't worry about that. I don't think he wants to drive at night. And not knowing that there's like a gazillion hospitals in Guadalajara. But I read it as a different sign, like, oh, this is really, really bad. If we're not even going to the hospital, that means that we're too late even to see her. And Terry was just sweating. He was so scared. Of course, I was too. But Linda Pello said, no, this is not a sign. You should not be leaving Guadalajara in the dark. So Mike and Terry want to get to the Posada Las Calandras before dark. So we used Mike's car, which held 5 of us, plus all our luggage. Remember, that's 3 people's check-ins and carry-ons and laptops and purses and all that kind of stuff. And then they said, oh, we have more news. Your room's been rented. I says, so I said to Linda Pello, I says, well, we'll just stay in your room for the night. I said, those bastards, they do it all the time. And they do. They rented our room, the number 15, the room I'm in. But at the time, that's what they were under the understanding, that our room had been rented out. And like Ernie had come here so many times to make sure, my sister's coming on the Friday, or not Friday, I don't know, Wednesday, January 30th. Anyway, so we get to the Posada and I start hugging people and I'm crying and they are just as terrified as I am. No one had heard anything. And then and then they said, oh, we do have your room is available. But that didn't make me happy. I just wanted to find out if Ernie was okay. Well, after we were here for about half an hour, we put all our luggage in Linda Pello's unit, which was Ernie's old unit. Ernie was cat sitting. Janice got through to Ario, let Janice use the hotel's phone. And I don't know. I've got to ask Janice, how did she find out what hospital Ernie was in? Anyways, so needless to say, so I ran over to Janice because the word was out, oh, Ernie's on the phone. So then I knew, okay, she's okay. And I started crying, and so Henny says, talk to her. I says, oh, I can't. I was just so happy to hear that she was okay. Because everyone was really scared. This is 6-ish, that no one had heard anything. Anyways, so I did talk to her, and she was so weak and tired, and she had an MRI, and she was sedated. But regardless, yes, Linda, I'm okay. It was just the chain of events just turned. She had a guardian angel on her shoulder. It wasn't her time because someone carried her down the mountain. It's just like the story goes on and on. I'm at 8 minutes now. Anyways, so it was really an emotional roller coaster. So, and then Bob Donaldson came, and I don't know if he didn't have Terry's phone number, and he said, oh, she's okay. It was a stroke. She had paralysis on the mountain, her left side. If everything didn't fall into, she was brought to hospital in Ajijic. We have a hospital/clinic. A neurologist happened to be on call. He prescribed the proper meds for a stroke, stabilized her, and she went by ambulance to St. Javier's Hospital in Guadalajara, which happens to be the hospital my mom was in when she suffered her broken vertebrae a gazillion years ago. Anyway, so Bob said, and even luckily, once again, Ernie was quite lucky in the ambulance on the road to Guadalajara on the highway. Bob was behind the ambulance, of course, and a top-heavy truck spilt its load, and this truck was behind the ambulance, and Bob was behind the truck. So he was stuck on the highway for over half an hour, not moving. Once again, Ernie was met at hospital. She avoided all that. The ambulance was ahead of that. And she was met at hospital by 2 doctors, 2 nurses. She was given top-notch care. So the next day, so Bob, we hugged, And she'll be all right, Linda. You know, it was a relief, very much a relief. And we just brought our carry-ons upstairs to this room, to Mike and Janice's old room, room number 15, and spent the night. And then in the morning, so Bob Donaldson said, okay, I'll pick you up at 10 o'clock. We'll go into hospital, see how she's doing. Maybe she'll come home. You never know. You're released quite quickly because it's like thousands of dollars, your bill. And even though the doctor, so long story short, we had to get some suitcases because I had stuff. I couldn't even shower without some, I just had my carry-on. I didn't have, anyways, so Bob was here at 10. We went to hospital. We spent the day with Ernie, and the doctor wanted to do more testing on her. They said the results were that they couldn't find where the clot had broken from, which now I understand that is a good sign. If they had found an area that the clot had broken from, meaning she had plaque buildup, she would have stayed in hospital and they would have worked on getting rid of the buildup of plaque or whatever it is that creates strokes. Anyway, so she paid her bill, thousands of dollars. This hospital was so deluxe. And we came home. Bob Donaldson, of course, dropped us off first, and he brought her to his place. He's a medic from the Army, the Canadian Army. He did that till retirement. And anyways, well, this is going to be 12 minutes. I'll continue the story. She's okay. She had some numbness in her left arm the following day, the third day, day number 3. Today's day number 5. And it was normal. They went to clinic and found out that, yes, that's very normal to have. Anyways, okay, I'm going to sign off, and I hope my next little blurb here. Oh, we're having awesome weather. Oh, goodness. I should have signed off. Anyways, catch you later.